4 years ago now, the Ashmoleans set out on this extraordinary campaign to, as they say here, save Manet for the public. One of the great and abiding and constant pleasures of works of art is, of course, how many different ways they can make you think about them.
Back in 2012, the museum ran a successful fundraising campaign to buy the Manet portrait of Mademoiselle Claus.
Whenever the Ashmolean receives a new acquisition, it gives us the opportunity to engage with as many people as possible.
Around the campaign, the education team were involved in running a whole series of events as part of our regular programming. So we did a big Manet, little Manet family drop-in event, adult workshops and lectures, having schools come and be able to engage with the painting as part of a portrait session.
So we're not just about what museums do, but also to support what charities and other organisations do. So we had phase one, which was focusing on 3 different groups. Meadowbrook, which is for school refusers, the Roundabout Centre, which is young parents, hospital school, and then we also had the Highfield mental health unit for young people. We would offer them themes. How they would explore those themes and the products that they would end up with would be completely led by them.
Okay, hang on. Bunny is a name and Bunny is a game. Sitting here for hours upon my pretty vows.
So we did digital animation,
Poetry, collage,
oil paintings.
jewellery.
We had an actress come in dressed up as Fanny Claus.
Oh, he did that with Manet, like magic.
The response has been incredible.
Because it is to die, my mouth is delight. Manet is the only stone of in the right.
The second phase, written into the bid, had been the idea of working with contemporary artists, particularly artists who work with digital media.
We answered an invitation to submit to the Commission for Digital Artists in Residence at the Ashmolean.
Outreach work with a number of groups, and also to make a commissioned Brook and Black work placed somewhere in the collection.
We're working with Young Dementia UK and Mind.
Go out into the gallery, take your time, look at the imagery. Really.
Some of our members, due to the nature of their illness, really struggle with consistency and motivation. Everybody who came to the first session stayed for the whole process.
I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it really gets me going. I sort of lost interest, enthusiasm and confidence really, but doing this is really starting me off again.
Like with dementia, you tend to sort of like be on your own or in your own group, and you don't explore quite so much. Each week we've done something different, and each week it's been new.
You know, as we've walked through the museum, you start a realisation it's not just all about being at home looking at the television. It's certainly promoting to me that I'd like to go out and have a look at the museum, at the art.
I'm going to come back quite a few times and have a look.
I suppose part of the fun of working with artists is that you have things sprung on you. They wanted to do a green screen activity in the gallery. We did it, and it was brilliant. Even better, of course, now to see how it all fed into the final piece.
Magnificent. They've taken the image of the Manet painting, but the environment that's then superimposed is the artworks they've made.
In there will be pictures of the past, of what we've done to try to remember about things. So, and maybe Fanny Claus is doing that. She might not look at the view of what she was looking at. She might just thinking, well, I'm being painted and thinking about all her past, or what she might be doing in the future. There's something to think about, isn't it? You just don't know.
Those moments so dear, imperishable things, the bliss, the depths of solitude. How lovely the sweet evening, memories.
You know, you turn your back into the room because that's where you're isolated. You go out on the balcony, you look at the world. It keeps you grounded, it keeps you grounded.
Brook and Black produced these lovely prints that were given out at the party at the end of the project.
And I think they were really chuffed to get those. So they've always got something in their home that will remind them.
So it's these a still from the video.
Did you know you were getting this?
No.
Not only has this work inspired everything out there, it's also inspired some extraordinary cupcakes. So do eat those as well. What I really want to do though is thank you for all the thought and work that you have put into what you have all produced here.
Well, I was at a very vulnerable stage in my life. They were just so energetic and welcoming and supportive. It was just so beneficial for me.
The brief had been very much about working with the community groups, producing community work that could be displayed. And within that, there was also this scope for them to create their own response.
Upstairs, I hope, if you haven't been to see it yet, you will go and see it soon, is the work that Brook and Black produced themselves in response to this work.
In the centre of the room, there is a inside of an umbrella without the sort of covering, just gently opening and closing.
Disrupting that sense of beauty. And that room with all the beautiful impressionist paintings where everybody goes, lovely Paris, lovely Paris. Here we are in a different time now, and people are looking and watching each other differently.
I mean, the thrilling thing is that they discovered Fanny Claus's great-great-granddaughter living in Paris and painting.
There is a video work with an opening shot, and she looks towards her great-great-grandmother.
Et je suis très touchée d'avoir mon arrière-arrière-grand-mère juste à côté. Et je vous remercie sincèrement de toute cette belle expérience.
Really inspiring and really refreshing because we're not artists, and for us it makes us push the boundaries of how we work.
You know, I think the thing about this project is that it's all been new territory. We've developed a model for these sorts of projects, working towards an exhibition, having the big party here. That wasn't necessarily how we'd worked before. It is a really nice way to bring it all to a good conclusion, and obviously Live Friday took it to another level again.
It raises the bar, it's valuing the kind of artwork that comes out of that engagement.
And I think it also gives a really clear message for the public that the galleries can be really dynamic spaces.
If you did something that was easy, you wouldn't get a higher quality of outcome. You wouldn't get such positive engagement from the groups who work with it and such a positive response by the public to the work.
I will be sad to see it come to an end. People like me have the confidence to come in here because there are things for everybody.
I mean, every endeavour, every exhibition is collaborative, but few are as collaborative as this.
I wish there was more of these.